Hello everyone, hope we're doing well. Welcome back, of course, to CSGO News, and huge thank you to all of you guys watching right now, and you know why I'm wearing this. Well, then you have watched the last video. Thank you all very much for breaking 250 likes on the last CSGO video, and that is why I'm wearing, of course, the Team YP jersey, and it doesn't honestly look that bad. But anyways, welcome back, of course, to the CSGO News show. I hope you guys all enjoy it. We have some crazy stories today, which a lot of them actually happened just this morning. They were found out just this morning over at Extremesland 2018, the Asian tournament. If you guys have not heard about this, it's terrible news for OpTic's Indian roster. Now, it's actually going to be team member Forsaken, who was actually caught cheating at the event, and I honestly not really sure where to take this one. There are so many things that could be said. As of right now, clips are surfacing all the way back from early 2017. Several clips of this guy obviously cheating. We also had Ben Tet take to Twitter, and he said he knew about this. A lot of pro players suspected this, and it's no surprise it's finally coming to fruition. And the first thing I want to say is this is actually terrible news for an organization like OpTic, but especially the OpTic Indian team. You guys know the community. We're all a part of it, and you know this community never forgets things like this, and I am afraid this will not only tarnish the CSGO roster for the OpTic Indian team for the prolonged future, but people will never forget about this. I hate to say it, but it might even be a meme of the Indian CSGO team. No matter what they do in the future now, this will always be remembered as a very embarrassing moment, and it's just really tough to see. On top of that, I have never seen a player try and shove off an admin who is trying to look at his computer. That was actually a clip released by themselves. Extremesland or CSGO to Asia released the clip of Forsaken. You know, they're like, hey, we're gonna check your computer. He's no, I'm cheating. Don't. It's hard to watch. And it's really hard, especially because the team has now come forward. Of course, their directors come forward and said the players knew nothing about this. And what do you guys think? It's really tough, especially with the CSGO community. And again, I'm going to keep on referencing that. You guys know it. It's very, very hard to imagine these players could not have known. If the entire community of pro players suspected him, if of course he'd been cheating back from 2017, it's tough to think the players did not have their own suspicions. And they never acted on that. They never asked him. You know, of course, they've been together for a few months now, a few solid months where they've had some really good results over in India. They were the most dominant team in India, and I hate to take away from that, but of course now you think a lot of the fans out there are taking away from that of course you're the best team in India because you had a giant cheater on your team, and so it really takes away from all the results. Of course, they qualified for this tournament. They'd also recently qualified for ESL Pro League Season 8 in Asia. They had a chance to go to EPL Finals, which is amazing to see for a brand new team out of India as well. Although they would have had to play against, I think, teams like Tyloo and Vici Gaming, they probably wouldn't have gone through. But again, just to qualify for that, you take away from everything because you don't know when he was cheating and when he was not. And the ballsiest thing of all of this, we also have NIP tweeting out things, which is just daggers there, but it also makes you really wonder, why would you try and do this on LAN? It's one thing because these teams, especially OpTic India, have played a lot of online qualifiers. That's one thing, right? If you can get away with it there, you know what? You do you, if that's really what you want to do in your CSGO career. But to try it on LAN, this guy is the ballsiest CSGO player we have seen ever since, I don't know, Big Clan Jump Bug or Fnatic Boost as well. It's just really sad to see, and I hope this doesn't affect the organization for a prolonged period, but I feel like it certainly will. Maybe I'm not helping that, but definitely just a sad situation to see. Do these players know about it? Did they actually have suspicions? Should they have acted on those? There are so many unanswered questions for the future, but it's been Forsaken, now released from the OpTic India roster, guys, after cheating at an Asian LAN today. It's tough to see. And on top of that, responding to our other story about there, we actually had a few comments out there that I was actually spreading rumors about JasonR. If you guys don't know the full story, I was not spreading rumors. I was simply sharing the story with all of you. It was JasonR on stream. It was also a Nemesis GG female player. They have a female CSGO roster, guys. It was Misperceived who came forward on Twitter. It was all over Reddit as well as Twitter, in a very popular story. I was simply sharing with you guys that she was banned in JasonR's chat for no reason whatsoever. JasonR's then moderator actually came out and said this happens quite a bit. There are many females or anyone who's an obvious female in his chat that's actually banned, and he does not know why. He also said it's probably because of JasonR's girlfriend. That's all I said. I shared it with you guys. I said if JasonR wanted to respond, I'd feel free to take that and share it with you guys as well. JasonR did respond, not officially, but with a stream title. You guys can see it on screen. He said he bans everyone equally. No further comment. I think that's probably going to be the end of that story. I guess we'll end the drama there, guys. If he bans everyone equally, it does seem like a weird way to respond, but to avoid controversy, probably one one of the better responses he could have had. So I do feel bad if that's the case, if there's going to be females in the future that I guess avoid his stream because of this, but obviously he sees himself doing just fine without that controversy and without that going forward, and he actually is doing really well. I mean, one of the better CSGO full-time streamers currently, so best of luck to him in the future, and that's going to be it for the JasonR story for now. Maybe we'll have more in the future, but for now, that's going to be it. But also on top of that, guys, one last thing. I guess we have a few other stories here, but one last big thing. We continue to have Pasha Biceps trolling all of us. I don't know how to feel about this guy anymore. I've talked about him so much because he has the best tweets in CSGO, but some of them, you just don't know what the truth is from just him trolling or even subtle hints at what might be the future of his career. He tweets out maybe an international team for him. I would instantly respond to this, yes, please leave Virtus Pro or go somewhere. I think a lot of us would agree there's two options for the future of Pasha. Neither of them involve Virtus Pro. Either go full-time streaming. I'd love to see your face every day or whenever I can. I know a lot of you guys would as well. Or go to a mixed team. We have people like HS and Innocent and Fox trying to make their mixed teams or international teams as well. A lot of random pro players out there without teams, which I think we can definitely see together with a guy like Pasha. They don't have to have results. They don't have to produce anything results-wise, but seeing different pro players play together would definitely, I think, do well for a guy like Pasha right now. So my answer is yes, Pasha, whatever you want to do in the future. Now, very lastly, for tweets out there, we actually had Maikelele take the Twitter last night as well with some very saddening stuff, and I've talked about him a lot in the past, and I almost felt guilty reading these tweets. I'll show them, of course, on screen for all of you guys. I almost felt guilty because if you know my background, my main channel, as well as on here, we've talked about the struggle of Maikelele ever since his departure from a team like FaZe Clan and NIP as a stand-in. He has really struggled, and I think myself included in this as well. We've taken it out on him because he is now has the record for most CSGO teams or most CS teams in general. I think he's around 23 or 24. He's been a pro player bouncing around recently from Swedish team to Swedish team, failing to make minors and for the majors, and a guy that I always loved to watch play and definitely loved his personality, and it's kind of tough to see a tweet like that. So I really do wish him the best of luck in the future. He's also been tweeting and kind of hinting at some possible future plans, and I'm backing with him, okay? I hope the best for this guy. I hope he can find a Swedish roster or a roster that's going to work out for him, but that was obviously kind of some sad stuff to see. And no surprise for all you Ex-Fnatic fans, I mean Fnatic Academy fans out there, if you guys do remember the Gamers the Gamers with a Z at the end reality show, I always mispronounce that. They actually signed that roster for 3 months. They re-signed them for 6 months. They then were let go just about, I think, last month as well, and that roster has now parted ways. No surprise as well. They have no backing whatsoever, so kind of sad to see, but the roster did last for quite some time. It does kind of make you question the future of all Gamers rosters because that Gamers show apparently is coming back. If that roster, which was potentially, you know, a pretty decent roster, especially given the results they did have for a short amount of time, it really makes you question how long the other future rosters of the Gamers show can last. But that was in some sad news out there. Also on top of that, some smaller news for all you AU fans out there, Australian fans that is. We actually have Tainted Minds coming back in the Australian scene. They might actually have a pretty good chance. According to my friend out there, that's being TGC. Shouts to you, my man. Apparently now the third best Australian team who could give Renegades a run for their money when it comes time for those minor qualifiers. So keep an eye out for that, guys. Tainted Minds now pick up USTILO from, of course, Renegades. I cannot wait to see Renegades. They signed Gratisfaction and a couple other players there to go that full Australian roster as well. I cannot wait to see these teams play it out. According to my friend there, it's going to be at the minor qualifier. Of course, you're going to have a team like USTILO already go through. So Renegades alongside Tainted Minds, another team out there as well to fight for that third place, I guess the tiebreaker spot as well. Expect some good stuff from Tainted Minds here, guys. They have a lot of other teams out there in the esports scene, and I cannot wait to see how they do. But also, very lastly, some very cool news out there for a person like Davey. If you guys do remember the X-Splice member, he was kind of ditched by those other teammates who joined the new Envious roster. Well, now we have his little payback here, guys. Davey alongside Odorous have now joined the brand new Space Station roster. We've actually had that Space Station story. If you guys were here a couple days ago, that was the former AZO roster who was mistreated poorly in their house, and they eventually left that house and left that organization, the AZO organization for Space Station. They have now joined two new players, guys, Odorous alongside Davey, and they have an ECS North American spot. Now, why I say a very cool story here, because it would be very not cool. It would not be cool to see, but it'd be very interesting to see if Space Station can keep their ECS spot longer than Envious with Davey's, all his ex-teammates can keep their EPL spot. We're going to see what race actually, who wins this race, guys, because as of right now, Space Station, I think, is doing decently in ECS, and we'll see how Envious plays out their Pro League career as well. But that's going to do it for today's episode of CSGO News, guys. We're going to have more updates as well on Monday. I've been talking to Refrez very briefly in Twitter DMs. If you guys know about him, his actual account was hacked earlier this week. I'm going to have more updates for you guys on Monday. Monday. I know it's a long wait for that, but it'll probably be worth it. So I hope you guys all enjoy. As always, thank you guys for breaking the like count. I cannot wait to wear this jersey the rest of the day. I hope you guys all enjoy. I'll be back here with one other video today, but more CSGO news come Monday. As always, my name is Jake. Remember, I like you guys. Thank you for what? I don't know why my arms are up. Okay, bye. OpTic, why have you forsaken me?